So, hi, if you're back after watching last week's episode, can I get a hug or something? Thank you. I really thought I was going to have to do this alone, and it turns out I'm not. Some of you are going to come with me, and that makes it so much more exciting. The name of this week's episode is We Go Forth. We put Jim out there, and we have certainly done that in a big way, which I will talk about in just a minute. But the beginning of this episode, I wanted to thank you for coming back. Thank you for the new people that are joining us for the first time. It's me, Jim. I'm going to take off to be an actor, a completely irresponsible thing to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. And apparently I'm going to take some of you with me. And thank you. Okay, enough. I want to answer some questions. One question is why modeling? People have asked me, you say you want to be an actor. What's with all the modeling? Well, the modeling agencies, a lot of the modeling agencies that I have submitted to have acting and voice acting divisions. But that's not the real reason that I'm going that route. My rationale is this, and this is just my own thinking. I don't know that I'm too far off on it, but this is just a hypothetical of the way my brain works. Let's say that I just wanted to go pursue acting, and I just wanted to look for auditions and casting calls for acting jobs. There's a lot of old actors out there. So let's say a company in Chicago is going to do Fiddler on the Roof, and they're looking for Tevye. So on my own dime, I'd have to get to Chicago, and I would be standing in a hallway or waiting in a room with 40 other guys, let's say, to audition for Tevye. And odds are, let's say, I've got a better singing voice than 35 of them, and I can do a better Tevye than 35 of them. Okay, that still leaves 5 that I may or may not get the part from. And of course, you're going to be there for a day or two for callbacks, because if you're lucky enough to get called back, because there's too many people to get through. And I don't know, best case scenario on the last day of callbacks, let's say it's me and 2 others. Let's say I got down that far. I still have a 66.6% chance of not getting the part after everything I've put in to get there and audition for it. But on the other hand, if I go get my pictures taken, which you saw a few of them at the beginning, and they turn out good, and you go to these these modeling agency websites, and you look in they have categories: men, women, influencers, people that they're development, but some of them have a category they called silver. And I really like that, the silver category. That's the senior models, the old ones like me, and they don't have hardly any. They don't have very many. Certainly more females than males. They don't have very many males. And I'm thinking, if I submit my pictures to places like that, it's going to help me with my plan. My plan is really simple. To keep it simple, to take small baby steps at this. And the first baby step that I wanted to take was just getting out of here, going and talking to somebody about something in the industry. And I still feel like I have a better chance of having someone reach out to me from a modeling agency that wants me to go there and meet with them and talk to them, and then get me involved in that industry. And I'm going to take that industry by storm. I'm going to take it seriously. I'm going to take it seriously for a year or 2 or 3. I'm not even going to entertain any type of acting auditions until I have wrapped my brain and my arms around that, because it gets me out of here, it gets me in the industry, and it gets me meeting people. It gets me rubbing elbows and being places where I can create a better situation for myself for acting down the road than I could trying to just go do it right now cold. So that's my thinking on that, is that heading towards modeling first, it gets me out there. Now, I've done my research on this, and I know who the top 5 silver men are in this, and I know who represents them, and I have reached out to those companies and several others as well. But I'm taking this very seriously, and I want to compete with the best that are doing it right now. And this isn't something it's not a lark. I'm going to take modeling seriously, and I'm going to accomplish it and be successful at it before I move on. Okay, as I started to submit my photos and my applications to these agencies, I learned really quickly that they're all of them Nazis about the size of the photos that you can send them. And all of my photos from Daniel were big files, great big files, 16 megabyte, 21 megabyte, they're big files. They're actually mini videos is what they are. And so I couldn't get them loaded. And I tried, 2 or 3 different failed attempts at a couple of agencies to get everything filled out and then to send them upload my photos, and it wasn't working. So then I had to download some software that allows me to kind of clip almost a screenshot, a one frame version of those. And so I had to do that one at a time to each and every photo before I could submit them. Funny, I was complaining to Daniel, the photographer, about this just not too long ago, and he goes, "Oh, I could have sent you those in any file size that you need. What file size do you need?" And I'm like, "Gee, thanks. Where were you yesterday when I needed, before I bought this stuff and was clipping all the photographs?" So I kind of had some fun with him on that one. That would have been good to know. But I want you to know he's got that capability in case he does a photo shoot for you, which I highly recommend you take advantage of. Okay, so photo sizes. So I had a hard time submitting, but then I finally got the photos down to a size where I could get them off in my packages, and then I just started submitting. I bet total we've reached out to maybe 20 different agencies. And we're just going to, like I said last week, sit back and wait for the offers to just start rolling in. Next, where I'm headed, like right now after this, here in a minute, you're coming with me, is I'm going to go do what do you want to call it, a man on the street segment where I'm going to take the camera. Maybe I'll go have lunch with my buddy Brian, and I want to get people's reactions on the street to this crazy thing that I'm doing. I want to find out if people are more in the, "Oh man, yeah, I get busy living" camp for sure, or if some people are like, you're 62, that's a ridiculous. You should be ashamed of yourself. Seriously, just wow.
I would probably, if they are really good at it and that's something they want to follow, I would probably say try, see where it leads you. Go ahead and try, but make sure that you're financially okay, because getting into that field is super, super hard.
Okay.
So make sure you're financially okay and have fun. Do some commercials and see what it's like.
But you wouldn't tell that person, "Oh my God, you're too old. Don't do that."
No.
Get busy living.
Yes. Go enjoy life. Go
Excellent.
do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
I guess the main deciding factor with me would be if there's a family involved. If this older person
they're retired, the kids are grown.
Go for it. Follow your dream. Like I said, that's been my biggest fear and my biggest hurdle and my biggest detriment throughout my life was the fear of failure. And there's so many times that I had opportunities and I said no because I thought I would fail. So I say go for it.
Great answer, real answer. I appreciate that. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
There's been tons of people. There was a black singer that got his career started really late. He was almost like a James Brown type. I can't remember exactly his name. But he just died recently too. But he was hitting circuits like Coachella, Sasquatch, a bunch of it. He became really big, but it was late in his life. So I still felt like anybody can do anything, kind of at any point.
At any point.
Yeah.
So get busy. You're a get busy living.
Pretty much.
Oh, no. You've got plenty of life to live, even at 62.
You think?
Or any age. And not everybody makes it, especially in acting, fresh out of high school or as the first time they move somewhere trying to make it big. When the time is right, your opportunity will come.
Okay.
So chase after it. If that's what you want,
Get busy
yeah,
living.
get busy living.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I appreciate
If I was
you.
gonna do that, I would really want to wreck my past me to where it was just like I would want to do something absolutely obsolete before I moved on to another chapter.
So wait a minute. I want to know if I'm
So,
understanding.
I don't
You,
know.
you'd want to wreck your first life so that you'd feel okay going into this new life. Is that what you just
Well,
said?
why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? If you're gonna be someone totally different and someone totally new.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, let's say you had a dream of being something when you were 9, and then you didn't become that. You went and off and became a welder or whatever for 45 years.
Sure.
Now you want to go back to that 9-year-old dream. How old is too old to go back and do that?
I would say it matters how capable each person would be.
And what?
I don't think there's an age on it. I
Okay.
really don't really think there's an age.
So, hi, that was very interesting. I want to thank everyone that participated. They were very forthcoming, and it was really interesting. One thing I learned, and obviously when you say, well, age is just a number, that's really cliche. That's kind of why I wanted to take it a step further. But what I learned was people knew it was me that was going to be taking off acting, and they're not going to say to my face, you're too old to go do that. So here again, I'm going to use the word objectivity. I don't know that I got that so much, but what I did learn was, and this just confirms something that I knew going in, but I wanted to go talk to some people and bounce it off people and confirm my suspicions that 62 isn't even close to being old enough to not start another chapter in your life. Not even close. And the support that I'm getting, the fact that I had no naysayers, was uplifting and eye-opening, and I've got to get over the age thing and just go after this thing like I was, well, it doesn't matter what age I am, just a number, right? So the reason I'm holding the camera like this in this segment is because I want to answer another question. And one of the questions we've gotten is, where are we? Where are we recording? Where is this happening? And I would like to take you on a tour of the beautiful J&B Studios. Brian and I, my business partner Brian and I, started up here in these offices doing our steel work about 20 years ago, and it's kind of we've acquired more space as we've gone along. We're up here on the second floor of some old naval. This building's an old naval barracks, so it's kind of a fairly creepy, scary place, especially when you work late and you come here, or you're having to leave on your own at night. It's just a really, really, it kind of feels institutional to me. Not that I've ever been institutionalized, but I can imagine. I've been in the military, and I know what those kind of buildings feel like, and that's what this feels like. So, wow, creepy. Anyway, I'm going to run over here and start at our door and work my way back to this studio and give you the full tour. See, I told you, institutional. Anyway, here we go. We're coming up to the original offices of J&B. And this was the steel company. This was our steel company. There's my old desk. Offices. Well, when they became available, when that office became available, Brian and I got it, and we punched a hole in the wall, and we built that barn door out of old waterbed frame. So we come through here. Well, and I guess I should tell you, let me backtrack. The original way we was this was the original office, and then as you walk down here, okay, this wasn't ours. This door wasn't ours, but we had this little bitty office right here, and this was our workout room. But we'd have to come down this hallway and walk to that door to get to our workout room every day. So when the offices started to become available between this main office and what turns out to be that door way through there, we finally got all the offices between here and there, redid them ourselves, but now we turned it into a suite of offices, and we can go all the way down to our workout room without having to go into the hallway. Anyway, this is the next office that we acquired, and we framed this wall in. That's old pallet wood from the dump. This is our Studio A. This is engineering, and it's awfully dark. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. This is our sound booth that we built. I guess I should have turned a light on before the tour. And then we put this window in so that you can see into Studio B, which that's where we're headed now. This turned out to just end up being a foyer. And then this room, this is Studio B. Now I like to think this is where all the magic happens. I'm gonna get back here in the corner so you can see it better. You might recognize the set of Craigers Crossing right over here. But then the room is mostly filled with instrumentation, and there's a drum kit in the corner. And one of the reasons why I wanted to show you this tour and then show off this room is because I'm getting the band back together. And they're going to show up here tonight, actually in about 2 hours, and I'd like to explain that to you. Hi, so we have had a lot of amazing musicians through this studio over the years. Like I say, we've been here a very long time. And when I say that we're getting the band back together, we're going to have some musicians show up here tonight that they're some of the best ones that we've had show up here. And we record each session unbeknownst to them until we're done, and we tell them. And we've captured some amazing music. And the reason why I'm having them come down again is because I don't know if I'm allowed to bitch about YouTube on YouTube. I don't know if it's going to get me in trouble, but I'm going to do it anyway, because the first episode of Craigers Crossing got flagged. It got denied in Russia. It got blocked in Russia. And they blocked it because I used some George Michael music and some Boston music, the band Boston, and they wouldn't tell me which track it was. But I bought both tracks off of Amazon. I bought the MP3s and I put them in just as soundtracks in the first episode, which you heard. But somebody, or the Russians, didn't like that, and because the Russians blocked my video, YouTube has a policy in place to where I'm penalized now by not ever being able to monetize that first episode because anyone blocked it for whatever reason, and there's nothing I can do about that. And that kind of, that concerns me a little bit. I mean, how am I supposed to know? What if I use the word pickle in an episode, and people in Helsinki are offended by the word pickle, and so they ban my video, and then there's another one that YouTube says, can't be monetized because of some arbitrary blockage by some, I don't know. I'm unhappy with that. I don't know that I like that. I'm not a big rules, signs, boundaries kind of guy. I think we've covered that before, and that one, I don't know, man. It makes me want to get the band back together, and we're going to have the cameras and the microphones set up all night, and we're gonna record the whole thing, and then I'm going to use my own music on Craigers Crossing so that this can't happen to me anymore. Hi, I feel like I just left here. That was a late night, but man, did it serve the purpose that I needed it to. We got some great music. I'm going to try to hurry and go through all the audio, and maybe I can use some here in this episode, but for sure it's going to be ready for next week's episode and every episode thereafter. I've got lots of stuff to use. We were here very late. It's really cold in here. Somebody turned off the heat. I'm freezing. But anyway, I want to thank everyone that showed up, Joey and Brian and Aiden and Riley and everybody that Brandon, everyone that showed up and helped make music. It helped record. It was just great fun. It's always magic. It's always magic every time it happens. So thanks to all of you guys. I'm gonna close out this week's show with some more photos from the photo shoot, and hopefully the underlying music with that will be some of our jam session. No promises there. It took 7 hours last Saturday to upload the video, and it's Saturday morning right now, so it's crunch time to try to get this ready for my 7 o'clock deadline tonight for YouTube. So if I can get the audio in there from the jam, I will. If not, definitely in subsequent episodes. But next week, a lot of stuff is already starting to happen. I've secured an interview with a local talent agent. He's actually the owner of a local talent agency, and I'm not going to go there and be interviewed. He's coming here to the studio, and I'm going to podcast the shit out of this guy because I have about 1,000,004 questions. So that's coming up next week, along with anything else, any other contacts that we've had, anyone that's reached out to us. We're just going to start, dealing with it as it hits, and we'll share all of that with you and let you know where we're headed. So thanks for joining again. I appreciate you coming back and watching. I'll see you next week. Peace.
You're really good at pushing buttons.